This is day one of the Limited Championship event at SorceryCon Indiana 2026. This is round 5 out of 6 of the Swiss rounds that day. Top of the screen is a player named Glenn, and then I am at the bottom of the screen. Both of us are playing Spellslinger. We did not pull any avatars from our sealed pools that day. So we're just getting ready to get started here. Turn 1 for a Valley, a passing turn. Turn 1 to Glenn. And we'll see what he chooses. Bloom, passing turn. So he must have some more appealing sights in his hand that he wants for later turns versus holding on to the Bloom and needing that for mana fixing. Turn 2 with a Blessed Well on my side of the board, and I don't remember if I have a 2-drop or not. I looks like I don't. Passing turn. Glenn tapping for a Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights, just a fantastic card, and it does a lot of work for him, as I recall, in this game. And honestly, I think it could have done even more work for him potentially during the course of this game. A great position for it, right in the center of the board there. It gives him just a lot of reach and a lot of stopping power. Being able to fly the Desecrator Kite onto my site and pop that ward on the end at the end of his turn. Desecrator Kite, I feel like not typically a very strong card in limited, but if you have something like a Wuthering Height, then yeah, it can tap over there and become a nuisance to your opponent earlier rather than later, and make it better than I guess it typically would be. 3 mana for turn with a Leadworks. I do have 1 water threshold here to cast the Horrible Hybrid, and then pass turn back. And I have to be careful here, just because if I attack into Wuthering Heights on my next turn, my opponent could choose to activate it and just fly my minion away to a nearby site. So, for example, if he doesn't meet me and play a site adjacent to Leadworks, like he just did, but if he hadn't played to that square, if I attacked in on the next turn, he could fly the Horrible Hybrid over to Leadworks and then buy himself another turn or 2 while I have to move that piece back into a position where it can attack a site again. So, I mean, not like the end of the world, right? But we're talking about some tempo generating effects that can add up and ultimately affect the trajectory of your game in the long run. Glenn playing 3 mana for a Rowdy Boy, and then passing turn, the kite will actually do a point of damage to me since the site is no longer warded at the end of his turn. Sitting at 3 mana here. I think I have a site in hand. Looks like it's an Accursed Desert, so no ward targets, but likely I play it out just to hit my site drop on curve here. And I think I'm just weighing my options in terms of how do I navigate these pieces that he has on the board. So I can go ahead and tap for the Accursed Desert, and then play that out into the back. That leaves me with 4 mana for turn here. Looking to see what I have in my hand right now. I have a Mesmer Demon, but I don't have the threshold to get that one out. Looks like I have a smite, which is nice. That'll be nice later on. But again, don't have the threshold for that at the moment. I choose to trade by attacking in with the horrible hybrids to kill the rowdy boys. He opts not to defend with the Desecrator Kite, and then playing out Martyr of Tomorrow and passing turn back. Glenn drawing a spell for turn. Setting up for his turn here. Tapping for a sight. So he'll go to 4 mana on turn 4 as well. Double checking where he wants to place that. Road to Perdition. Giving his Desecrator Kite +1 power, and then flying it over to attack the Accursed Desert. So the placement on the Accursed Desert, I don't know if I maybe should have played it adjacent to the Leadworks instead on my previous turn. I thought about it and wanted to try to keep a tighter sight pattern there on my side of the board, but with the Desecrator Kite having Airborne, maybe that mattered a little less. Night Gaunts coming in, summoned to the void adjacent to my home site, so that is a problem that I have to deal with. At the moment, if it wants to step onto my site to attack, the only option open to it is the Valley on the home site. The Night Gaunts do have Airborne, but they are not able to move diagonally airborne across regions. So Airborne applies only while they are on sites, not when they're traversing void or when they are trying to move from a void square to a site square. I drew sight for turn, so I believe my goal here is to play a sight on turn for 5 mana. So I must have some answers or some cards that I want to play to answer the threats that he has on board in my hands already. And I don't know, I've just taken a long time to think about this, but I think I'm tapping for sight, and I think I'm just thinking about placement. Like, I'm holding on to my avatar, but I'm thinking about placement on where I want to put this sight, and I'm about to play out. And I think ultimately I play it adjacent to the Road to Perdition. You can see right now I'm playing it off to the side, but I changed my mind quickly. I don't like that location. I want to keep it over here to provide more of a buffer from him and prevent him from being able to kind of like snake his sights up on that column and get really close to me. Screwing up my order of operations here a little bit. I believe that the correct order that I should have done was attack with the Martyrs, then play the site, then pay the 1 mana to ward, and then play Heretics of Seth. And use Heretics of Seth to steal the ward at that point. I think that's like the sequencing errors like that are somewhat of like a slightly minor issue in tournament setting. Like, most of the competitive sorcery tournament settings are allowing for takebacks during active player's turn, as long as you haven't taken an action that reveals new information. So as long as like a card has not been drawn, or like a defender has been selected, a defender action has been selected from the non-active player, something like that, they do allow you to roll back and change the sequence on the order in which you do things. Just because like sorcery largely is not an instant level kind of spell interaction game like you might be used to with say like Magic the Gathering, where you have the option to kind of cast instant level responses to actions when it is your opponent's turn. There, with very few exceptions, there is not a lot of that going on in sorcery. The only thing that you can really do as the non-active player is choose whether or not you want to defend with a minion or a unit if you have an untapped minion or unit capable of doing so in those situations. Glenn taking a moment to ponder a situation. He's like, yeah, using Wuthering Heights, like I said before, to push the fly the Martyrs of Tomorrow off of that site. Not quite as effective. Not quite as effective. Just due to the site placement here. Ideally, like you want to fly it to, I guess, somewhere where it's going to take you a little bit, the other player a little bit longer to crawl back and make that piece relevant again on the board. And then playing out a Willing Tribute and a Ghoul. Choosing to attack with the Desecrator Kite, since I have no defenders capable of getting to it. Striking for 1, and again, it will deal a point of damage to me as well at the end of his turn. And then, surprisingly, choosing to pass turn. He's choosing to attack with the Night Gaunts, and I believe I'm opting not to defend with the Heretics of Seth. I don't know if that was a good call or not, but I think my thought process at that time was that I didn't want to defend, even though I had a defender with a ward, just because that would put that piece out of position for me, and it made me really nervous. The fact that he had a Willing Tribute out on the board and a Ghoul, so on the next turn he could do something like attack with a Willing Tribute to sneak 2 points in, attack with the Ghoul, sacrifice the Willing Tribute to untap the Ghoul, and get another attack in with the Ghoul. So something like that. If possible, I wanted to try to remove some of those pieces to deny him those actions. Like I said before, I think I either had a smite in my opening hand, or I drew into a smite pretty early. We saw that earlier in my hand in previous turns. I do have the 2 Earth threshold for it now, so I think my plan in my mind is to use the smite to get rid of the Night Gaunts, because they're an evil minion. So I can just banish them from where I'm at with my avatar. And then use the Heretics of Seth to try to take care of kind of this threat combo with the Willing Tribute and the Ghoul. It might have possibly been a little bit stronger for Glenn to hold on to the Willing Tribute until he was ready to use it. It's situational. It really depends on whether or not you really need that 2 power body on the board to kind of create more board presence and push more damage, possibly before sacrificing it, versus just playing it on the turn that you sacrifice it as a surprise, to get like a surprise untap on an undead or an evil, right, an evil ally. But yeah, no, I chose to attack in with the Heretics of Seth to just remove the Willing Tribute from the board, mostly because I chose to attack in there, and I wanted to see if he was planning on defending with the Ghoul, which was not the case. And now I'm just making a decision about what to do with my Martyr of Tomorrow. I can either I could sacrifice it by attacking into the Ghoul and getting the Death Right, and then putting a ward onto my Heretics of Seth. Or I could just attack into the site, the spire that the Ghoul is sitting on, and see what it does. Or I could just move it entirely, just take a move over to my Blessed Well, and potentially get it out of harm's way and have it available to me on the next turn. But I mean, since Glenn could just straight up trade the Ghoul with the Heretics of Seth on his next turn, I opted to attack the site just to see what he would do, because I either wanted to push in 2 points of damage, and then potentially keep the the Martyrs around a little bit longer, or force a block and then put another ward onto the Heretics. Which is, as you can see, that is what ended up happening. We took a little bit longer to play this game. Like it just felt some games the decisions are a lot easier to make, but for some reason for this game it felt like both of us had to make some really hard choices in terms of like what to play, what to attack into, things like that. So the turns just kind of felt longer sometimes. Here you can see I left my Spellslinger up, and he's trying to attack into the Accursed Desert with the Desecrator Kite. And then he didn't realize that I could defend and kill the Desecrator Kite. And then he's just asking to roll that back. And I said that was fine. But like I was talking about earlier, that it is technically one of those situations where you have passed the point of new information being revealed, where a defender has been declared. So I think technically I could have rule lorded that and kind of forced the kite to die. But I mean, for the most part, I enjoy just playing the game kind of friendly and competitively. I want to allow people to make changes. I think in the future, though, I will probably just enforce that no takebacks after new information has been revealed for plays, just because it makes it a little cleaner. Glenn playing out a search party, 3-power minion on top of Wuthering Heights. He hasn't activated Wuthering Heights yet this turn, so he could push the search party to get it into a position, or he could push the Heretics somewhere. And then he's taking back the search party because he realized that he didn't have the Earth Threshold yet to cast that piece. 5 mana for a Dreadwing. He's discarding, I believe he discarded a site. Yeah, he discarded a Spire from hand to play that one out, so he didn't have to take the strike. And then attacking in for 3 points of damage with the Ghoul. And end of turn, Desecrate a Kite deals another point of damage to me. So drawing a spell for turn, I drew an answer. One of the answers to what I need here. For what I need here, it looks like a Flame Strike. So I think what I end up doing is taking a step to get into position, and then casting Flame Strike to remove both the Ghoul and the Desecrator Kite, and just get the Desecrator Kite off the table. have it stop pinging me now that I'm getting dangerously close to door here. Tries to attack in with the heretics to see both to get off of Wuthering Heights and also to see what Glenn would do with the Dreadwing. He can't kill the Order, or he can't kill the heretics just because they have a ward on them. But he does run the risk of getting his piece removed, which is what I would have done if he had defended with the Dreadwing. I would have moved my avatar over to the Accursed Desert and then cast Flame Strike to be able to get that final point of damage onto the Dreadwing, as well as clear out the Ghoul and the Desecrator Kite. But instead, I just push in 3 points of damage and then play out a Lesser Blood Demon. I don't like that positioning on the Lesser Blood Demon, and I think that was actually a bad call, even just playing that card. Arguably, it buys me a little bit of time if he chooses to use the Dreadwing to remove it. There really is there's no place on the board that I could even summon the Lesser Blood Demon to, where Glenn could not reach it with the Dreadwing, just because Dreadwing is sitting on top of Wuthering Heights. It has that ability to push, and then it has Airborne, so it can attack like any of my sites, like any site that I have right now that he wanted to attack. If he wanted to attack it with the Dreadwing, he could. So it didn't really matter in that respect. I think looking back on the footage, like where I played the Lesser Blood Demon. And then I had to take 2 points of damage just to get the Lesser Blood Demon on the board. But Glenn choosing to displace the Lesser Blood Demon, and again, I think you might have just forgotten about the power of Wuthering Heights at his disposal, and kind of maybe just didn't see the possible attack lines open to him with the Dreadwing on that turn. Because if the goal was to get an undefended attack in with the Dreadwing to bring me to door, all he had to do was push the Dreadwing forward and then attack Airborne diagonally to that site. On the other hand, using the Displace, it is a tempo move, so it does push back my Lesser Blood Demon, and it buys him another turn, just because I don't have the ability to now attack in with the Lesser Blood Demon onto one of his sites. I'm out of position in that regard. Attacking in for another 3 points of damage with the heretics. Casting a Pile of Skulls. Casting a Pile of Skulls, banishing a minion here. I think I make some bad banishing decisions. Like ultimately, it doesn't super matter, but like looking back on like what's in the Gothic pool of cards, there are like a couple potential things that could come back to haunt you. So like a Carrionet, if they're in air and they happen to be playing Carrionet, they could resummon an undead, which is a concern. If they are playing Skeleton Mage, again in air, they can recast an ordinary magic from their cemetery. So I think in those regards, if I find myself in this situation again in the future, I need to reprioritize what I am choosing to select and banish to create that skeleton token based on those choices. Glenn getting out a Desert Bloom. I don't think he needs the thresholds, but just getting out another site. Getting out a double Search Party. And so Search Party, another card that kind of has implications in the cemetery in terms of kind of whether or not it matters that that a copy of that card is in the cemetery on board state. So if he has one search party in the cemetery and another one is on the board, the one that's on the board is now 4 power instead of 3. And I don't think I like immediately banish. I think I end up killing one of these things, and then I don't immediately banish it with my pile of skulls, which is like technically like a non-optimized decision. But I don't think it like ultimately really affected much for this game. We'll have to see how it unfolds here. Watching it again on video. And then eventually, I think I do finally realize, oh wait, I should probably just banish. I need to banish this the search party, just in lieu of having better options. So the pile of skulls precariously keeping me alive at this point. It is a very tenuous position, right? Just because, like, if he is able to, as soon as he is able to come up with any sort of kill spell, or just something that will deal just a point of damage to me from magic, or from getting more than one attack per turn in, then I have defenders, then he's going to close out the game here. So the pile of skulls, like a very effective defensive card right now for what it is. But if he can figure out how to overcome that, then I'm going to be in trouble. And I currently have 2 defenders right now with the Skeleton Token and the Lesser Blood Demon, now the Barrow White coming out. And then passing turn. So I got 3 defenders on the board here versus his 2 attackers. Continuing to try to just like squeeze in some damage there with the Heretics of Seth at the top of the board to try to stay in this game. Peeking out of his hand, I see a Zombie Horde. Zombie Horde, again, just he has really favorable, just having the Wuthering Heights, like almost anywhere you could have it, but like on the second row, gives him the ability to basically just push things forward and get them closer to my avatar a turn earlier than they normally would be able to get to on their own, which is a huge threat. Glenn attacking into the Lesser Blood Demon with the Dreadwing. I think I'm opting the double block there just to remove it from the board. Moving in with the search party and attempting to attack the avatar, defending with the skeleton. 5 for the Zombie Horde coming out. Choosing to put it on the site with the Heretics of Seth, because I guess his plan was to remove the Heretics of Seth from the board. Which I kind of get, like he's trying to like remove all my pieces from the board to control the board here, while he figures out how to like get in here and overcome the pile of skulls for the final point of damage on my avatar. But arguably it would have been a stronger play here if he just played the Zombie Horde on Wuthering Heights and then pushed it forward onto the Blessed Well instead, because then he would have 2 minions in attack position on his next turn here, potentially. And then I would need to come up with some more answers. I would need to come up with some more minions or some more removal to take care of those pieces. Tapping for a site. Looks like I'm going to play a stream. I mean, I don't think it super matters like what the site is. It's not going to have an effect. My other option is a wasteland, but just opening it up so I have somewhere to potentially run to, if if circumstances permit me to do that. Taking my pile of skulls action to generate the skeleton. And then just looking through the cemetery again. I feel like looking through the cemetery might have like eaten up more time than usual on these turns as well. 6 mana for a Shoggoth, and I do have Threshold, and I do have mana for that in the pool. Possibly it would have been better to play that more defensively, just because I'm so far on the back foot. But I think also my thought process was I need to get him as close to the door. Like, I need to get him to the door soon too, and then figure it out from there. Glenn tapping his avatar, possibly to play a site. All he needs is a way to get rid of that skeleton token without the search party. And then he can win the game. So just like if he had like a ghost fire or some other like projectile, like a one-shot wizard would do it, like would end the game here for us immediately. If he had a wild fanatic, he could push it with Wuthering Heights, and that would be enough to end game. Glenn is attacking in with the zombie horde onto the Heretics of Seth. Then I'm opting to trade with the Shoggoth. I think, again, looking at this game on replay, in retrospect, I think that was a bad decision on my part. It might have been stronger to hold on to the Shoggoth and then try to attack in to bring his life total down faster. He's getting out a Night Watch and propelling it forward with the Wuthering Heights. Again, like I've been musing about during this game, which does put a lot of pressure on me now. Now he has 2 attacks coming in, and 1 skeleton generated from the pile of skulls is not going to cut it. He also has a Forsaken at the edge of the board here that is going to start making its way towards me to corner me. The Heretics kind of too far away to kind of get into position to be a blocker at this point, so really they just need to keep on attacking the site and chipping away at his damage, his life total here. But I'm looking at my options. So doing the pile of skulls again. Yeah, it's making that skeleton, and then yeah, here's where I finally find that search part and realize, oh, I should banish this. so the search party is a 3 power instead of a 4 power, just in case it becomes relevant. So I need to come up with I need to at least come up with a blocker if I want a chance of staying alive here. He is in top deck mode. I asked him just to confirm he has no cards left in hand, and he said no cards left in hand. Like, what's on the board is on the board, and then I'm just top decking. So like I said, I'm going to attack in with the Heretics of Seth for 3 points of damage. And I believe I have 2 spells in hand. If I can find a way to make use of them. Mesmer Demon to tap an adjacent minion to tap that Night Watchman and make it take a step towards the Mesmer Demon site, which I felt was a decent play because it is a tempo play, and it also probably forces a trade on those 3s in some fashion, either trading with the Night Watchman or with the Forsaken when he moves that on, and then playing out a Noxious Corpse to provide a second blocker. That wasn't the best positioning on my part, I think. It probably would have been a stronger play to play the Noxious Corpse on the Blessed Well, just to provide provide an additional screener in case he did have a projectile. But it looks like he doesn't. I think he pulled I think that's a Those Who Linger. So he's got another minion. The skeleton that he created from that open grave starting to walk towards me at this point. He's got a lot of minions in position here on all sides. He just has to kind of get them into position to be able to actually attack all on the same turn. So he's playing Those Who Linger. He's flying it forward. And I'm just untapping the Night Watchman for him because I don't think we readied that at the start of his turn. So he has three minions on the board right now that he can do something with here, or 2, I guess I should say, because those that linger just came in. He is going to take a move with the Night Watchman, and there is nothing I can do about that. I cannot intercept because I'm not on the site that he's moving to, and I can't defend because he's not attacking. He's choosing to attack and kill the skeleton. I guess I could have chosen to defend with the Noxious Corpse to take out the search party. I don't know if there's really any benefit to doing that instead or not. But I guess at the time I didn't think there was. And that was all he could do, is he's passing turn back. Again, it has 0 cards in hand. I'm looking at the board state now, and I'm thinking that I can just, if I take a step onto that stream, maybe, I can wheel myself over and buy myself 1 more turn. So at this point I'm still just like, I'm kind of going all in on trying to kite the pieces that he has on the board, and just pushing damage to try to get into the door as soon as possible. I have two defenders up. There should be another skeleton on the board. I think we correct that in a minute here because I did pile of skulls. So I currently have 2 defenders, and then in my hands it looks like I have I'm basically top decking at this point too. I just have a Order of the Sacred Oak. Order comes in with a ward, so if I don't need like a larger volume of minions, that can also stall out and help me buy another turn, because in theory it can defend twice before it has to die. So I took a step. Yeah, I took a step and played the order. And I think we're positioned in a way where he can only really get 2 attacks in to me. Although looking at the board, I think he would have been able to eke out a win at this point in time if he had chosen to attack in and remove the Noxious Corpse with either the Night Watchman or the Forsaken. Instead, he's playing Gift of the Raven, and then he's trying to attack in. He's trying to attack in with the those who linger. I think he thought that it granted airborne, and I can understand why you would maybe accidentally think that is how that card worked, because like it feels like it feels like it would thematically. And sorcery is so much about theme and vibe. That like sometimes the cards don't really like work the way like intuitively when you look at them you think that they would work. Whenever I look at Lesser Blood Demon, for example, I always think that thing has airborne because it was painted with wings, but it does not have airborne, and I have gotten into trouble in quite a few games by thinking it does. So again, I think that I think that Glenn could have actually like won the game on this turn here if he had ordered his attacks a little differently. But based on how he attacked and how he defended, we're now going to turns, and in this tournament structure, it is like turn 0 when time is called, and then 3 turns after that. So not rounds where each player takes a turn, but like turns, by player. So Glenn's turn there was turn 0. He's going to pass turn to me, and that will make it turn 1. When I pass, he'll have one more turn, and then I will have the final turn in turn 3. Attacking for 6. The gift, the healing from gift, kind of prevented me from being able to take him to door here. Having to pass to turn 2, playing out undesirables as a blocker. And he's really like he needs a way to finish the game here if he wants a clean win. Since we both he didn't see that attack line on the previous turn, where I think he could have won if he had layered the attack differently. He's playing a Pallid Bust and choosing to banish Desecrator Kite. And he thinks that his train of thought is that it says it damages the site at the end of turn, and so the damage, because it damages, it would do a point of damage to kill the avatar. But that is not the case. There's a judge like close to us, and they confirmed that when you damage a site, it counts as life loss, not direct damage to the avatar. So at this door, you have to deal damage to the avatar to end the game. And so unfortunately for Glenn, he doesn't have a way to finish the game here, and on turn 3, since I don't have him at door, I do not have a way to definitively win the game either. So what I'm asking the judge right now is what are the rules in the tournament regarding if and when a player can choose to concede the game, and if we're allowed to determine who wants to concede in our match between the players. And it is a sticky subject, just because there are some implications in terms of allowing people to concede matches and seed the tournament. If you get enough like people who care enough about gaming the system to show up, in theory, you could run into a situation where your tournament has a bunch of kingmakers in it that are propelling their chosen champion forward in the rankings just by like throwing games, like choosing when to concede in the rounds. But by and large, for the most part, I feel like sorcery is not there at that point yet, where you have to worry about like widespread collusion, like at that level. I mean, neither of us, like Glenn and I, neither of us wanted to like have to roll, but we also didn't want to take a draw, which basically guarantees that both of us would have been knocked out of the tournament, and it would have like zero chance of making top 64 for day 2. So we did ask the judge if we were allowed to determine a player who wanted to concede, and they said, if you want to do that and you're on turns, you are free to. I don't think that was the response that was consistent from all judges at that at the event. Just because, again, like it's like there's concern about people being able to manipulate the outcome of tournaments. But for the time being, like I said, I don't think we're there yet in sorcery. In these types of events, like I don't think there's a danger yet of mass manipulation at that scale of that type. And like I said, like I honestly, like what the other reason why I was asking, and I think I said this to the judge, was just like, like if we're not allowed to roll, but you are allowed to concede at any time in the game at the end of round 3, I would have just conceded. To allow my opponent to advance, because I really don't feel like it's fair to take a draw just to sink both your chances and the chances of the person playing against you. I think that's a real sour, unsportsmanlike action to take. A real close game from Glenn. I would have loved to finish this game out. There were a couple of misplays and some non-optimal plays in there. But again, like all of my rounds, pretty much at SorceryCon, it was just so fun playing everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and we will move on to round 6, the 6th and final round for the Day 1 Limited Championship.